Hello people, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are finally back in the lovely Triassic Park, and it's still looking a little barren, a little empty, although now there is the lovely Enclosure in the distance to give it a bit more of a prehistoric skyline. Anyways, today we are moving on from late Triassic in Argentina to early/mid Triassic South Africa, because today we are building the enclosure for the Karoo Basin formation. As this episode goes on, I will give you some more details as to what this enclosure will entail and what lives in the Karoo Basin. Also, you should know that this project will be split between 2 episodes, so we will not be finishing it today, but we will be finishing it in episode 3 of Minecraft Triassic Park. Anyways, before we get started on that, we are going to have to take a look at my creative concept world, so let's go there. Alright, so this right here is the concept enclosure I have built. Now, obviously, since this is going to be a formation enclosure like the last one, it's going to be much bigger, but this is kind of the style I wanted to emulate. Now, admittedly, not all the ideas I use in this enclosure are original. In fact, many of them are inspired off of another build by a Prehistoric Nature Discord user. I'll put their build and username up on the screen, but I did see their builds, and they had kind of the enclosures spaced out between these very big, very lush gardens. So I tried to kind of use my own blocks, kind of integrate my own kind of building themes in it, but I wanted to kind of emulate that feeling of big, kind of fancy prehistoric. In theirs it was crops. Here it's like a prehistoric garden going around the enclosure. And as you can tell by kind of the shape and the design for the walls, this is a very different kind of enclosure. This is much more free form compared to the other ones. Anyways, we're gonna hop back into the world and get started on this enclosure. Before we get to that though, we have some updates for the Igualasto enclosure, including name suggestions, all of which I have right here. I'd like to say thank you so much for all the name suggestions, guys. This is probably the most name suggestions that we've ever gotten, and yeah, let's just go through them right now. They're pretty great. So the most name suggestions by far are Mosaurus, which is what all this bottom row is, but we're gonna start with the other ones. You can be Sandra, you can be Dangerous Child. For some reason somebody left the name suggestion for a Pseudotherium, which, considering their size and the amount there is in here, we're probably never gonna find this one again, but sure. Proto-Rat. Don't think about eating this one just yet, Mr. Eoraptor. Now saying hello to our Herrerasaurus. Looks like this one's saying hello to us too. We got 3 of these. Bone Shaker is one. That was courtesy of IGN. Here, this can be Hank, and this one can be Polly. I love this name a lot, by the way. Going into our Saurosuchus, this is one of the 2 species that we have names for every single individual of. We got Stanley, Chainsaw Face. This name's great. And I'll find the 3rd one somewhere. There you are, hiding right next to the door. Alright, well, you're gonna be Salad. This was a miscellaneous name, but I thought it would fit best with the Saurosuchus for some reason. And now we have the names all filled, so yeah. Okay, so on to the Mosaurus, which we have 7 names for. Well, 3 Mosaurus. You can kind of see our dilemma here. But on the bright side, it will allow us to demonstrate something really cool that Devs did. So for the 3 names we're going with, it's gonna be Morris, Taurus, and Boris. I love these 3. I like names that rhyme, or like kind of go together. Like Knit Knot, the Gastornis, those were great. And now Morris, Doris, and Boris. Very good. We got Boris. This can be Doris, and this can be Morris. And we have plenty of great names. Maurice, Carl, Toby, Jerry. These will all be Mosaurus. Why? Well, remember when I said we need more population? Well, I brought all of our extra saplings for that reason. Most of the creatures in prehistoric nature can now breed. Okay, so try breeding them twice with different kind of leaves. Doesn't seem to work. I don't know if maybe there's a thing where like these eat eggs, but I doubt that. Well, we got our 4 eggs anyways, so don't worry. Everybody's name suggestions are gonna be in here. Now we wait. Okay, I just noticed this, and I have a lot of questions, like why is Doris on top of a tree? Oh, right, so all the eggs just hatched, and there you go. Oh my god, they're really cute. Alright, you might remember last episode where I was being kind of annoying about how the baby Mosaurus quadrupedal and grew into bipedalism as adults. There was a small quality of life update. Aside from a few bug fixes, this is something they fixed. What the heck? What are the... Alright, let's try this again in a safer location. Alright, so based on the sound, and I think I saw 1 or 2, they have hatched. By the way, these names are great. So here's Maurice. Maurice? Carl, but it's spelled in the German way, so I'm gonna call him Karl. And then Toby and Jerry. This cage contains Toby and Carl and Jerry and Maurice. By the way, I learned they're supposed to get out like that because they are small enough to fit in between the bars of the cage, which is actually a really cool feature, so yeah. Anyways, once these are big enough to not die, probably like walking on 2 legs, we'll let them in. If anybody's ever read the Jurassic Park book, it was the little baby Mosaurus that comes out. Or no, it's the Lost World book. It's the little baby Mosaurus. So thank you for name suggestions. Like, I can't express how great it is that we got so many name suggestions. Keep them up. We do still have 2 Herrerasaurus that need names. And in this episode, there will be, of course, more animals. So when we get there, leave your name suggestions for those too. Alright, people, now I'm at least going to start with the border. Alright, so, I was originally planning on making it 1 block tall, but I don't... I actually thought about it a bit, and I don't think the height change is actually necessary. I think it'll be fine. In fact, the elevation might make the plants a little cooler looking. Alright, so that's as much wall as I have the materials to build. Looks pretty good. I think the one issue is kind of how far the land comes up. So we're going to probably flatten it a bit on stream. We'll also get some more cobblestone and finish the wall for the section of this enclosure that we are doing today at least. Alright, so see you then, people. Alright, people, so I'm about to start the stream where we finish building the whole wall over there. Since I'm probably going to be building the path too, in order to plan that out, I kind of need to build a tower. Now right here on the screen, you got a schematic that I very roughly drew based on the geographical area. So the black lines represent the borders of like the whole thing. Red is where the creatures are going to be because we are going to have a thin layer of garden there. Big, thick orange line is path. The orange lines are like the dividing for the different areas of this thing. White circle in the middle is meant to be the location of the viewing tower. Now, this is going to be different to the viewing gallery, but since the path kind of moves to that point, before we start potentially working on the path, I am going to get the viewing tower done right now. If we look in here, you can see I am starting to smelt the stone bricks that I'm going to use for the stream. So yeah, people, so right here in my concept world, I built kind of a concept building. So I kind of like the look of this. I was originally planning on it being like a tower, but I do kind of like the look. It's very kind of sleek, rounded, modern. But I will ask my viewers what they think, and maybe I'll do a second floor. We'll see. Alright, so back to the world. We got this chest with some stuff, and just enough stuff to probably get the base down. Alright, so that's as much of the floor as I can fill in. Cool. Alright, cool. That's probably good enough. I'll come back after the stream and we'll update everything that's happened, which will probably be live. Alright, people, so it's a bit after the stream, like a day or two, and I've done some work outside of it. We have the whole outside wall done, and if you'll remember in the concept, we have garden that is going to go as part of the border, and before it was originally supposed to go all the way around, but now I think it'll just go some of the way around, so I'm going to get that done right now. We have some resources prepared here, and we got plenty more smelting for bricks and smooth stone and stuff. Alright, a few hours later, and we are done with the inner wall. So the inner wall stops right there. You can kind of see where it attaches, and it goes all the way around here. And inside, just as with the concept build, we have lush, decadent gardens of Triassic flora. Looks especially cool when viewed from just outside of the entrance. The reason we got 3 little holes in these walls is I think it's really cool if our 2 smallest animals from the herbivore section are inside of these walls just as I am. Alright, so now that we have finished the border, the next step is going to be terraforming the enclosure. So as with the concept, we are going to be using red sand and coarse dirt to really kind of give it maybe more of a detail, better look to the eye. And the 6 main plants we're going to be using are Sphenobiera, Biera, San Miguela, Schizonera, Fumoria, and Ischnophyton. Aside from those, we're also doing Dicrodium zuberi and Neuropteridium for a reason that I will explain towards the end of this episode. All of this will be done on stream, so I will update you after that, and we will get some animals in there. Alright, people, so a stream and a little more time later, and we got this whole entire thing terraformed, and it looks amazing. I mean, before we managed to transform a desert into a jungle, but here we managed to transform the boring vanilla Minecraft desert into this amazing Triassic scrubland, and I think this just looks so good. This turned out so well. Thank you in part to one of my viewers suggesting that we use these trees, the Glossopteris. Alright, so let's go get our animals. We're gonna need 7 cages. 2. Oh, perfect. Okay. Be prepared when you see this, because these are amazing. This is Hyperadapodon. I promised everybody on stream that if we got it to 20 likes, I would hatch one of the species. This is gonna be our largest species. These are still babies, so don't worry. Yeah, we're gonna start catching them. So this is one of 3 species that will be in the herbivore area that we built this episode, and these are amazing. I will explain more about them when we get there. So Hyperadapodon, what these are, is a type of a rhynchosaur. Now, rhynchosaurs are these very strange, kind of beaked sauropsids, and they have these little beaks that were for getting through tough plant matter. So you'll remember we got the Dicrodium zuberi and the Neuroptidium. The reason that we have these two is because these are seed ferns, a group of plants that went extinct in the Carnian age, corresponding with the extinction of the Hyperadapodon. Now, the Carnian was, of course, the later Triassic, so I guess I kind of lied when I said this was early to mid-Triassic, but these were found all over the world. Every single continent except for Australia and Antarctica had Hyperadapodon on it. Well, I decided to focus on South Africa because they are just very prolific there. Another fossil formation that was during the Carnian age was in fact Ischigualasto, so let me know in the comments if you guys would like me to introduce a small population of Hyperadapodon to the herbivore area of the enclosure from last episode. Anyways, that's enough of the Hyperadapodon. Let's get to the other 2 species. So these blue color eggs we're going to spread all around. And this area we're going to focus these 10 Thrinaxodon eggs because this side of the enclosure past the viewing gallery is all going to be Thrinaxodon. Alright, I definitely heard some eggs hatching, so let's find some of these creatures. Oh, this one's going to hatch any second. There we go. Oh my god, please sit still. Please. Alright, so this is Euparkeria. It is either the common ancestor or closely related to the common ancestor of all Archosaur forms. Its name means Parker's good animal, and based on its hip structure, scientists think it could run on its hind limbs, meaning it was probably one of the first vertebrates to really do that, and you can kind of... maybe it'll do it? Oh no, they only seem to really do it if you freak them out. I don't really want to freak this one out right now, so... yeah. Euparkeria capensis was an early Archosaur form. Yep, there we go. Yep, alright. Didn't miss much, except it was apparently nocturnal. That's cool. And then if we go back here, I bet the other eggs have hatched. Oh, there we go. There's one. So this is Thrinaxodon. It's a species of early Triassic cynodont. Lived here in the Karoo Basin, of course. And these cynodonts and a few of their relatives were some of the few survivors of the Permian Triassic mass extinction event. And, of course, went on to become mammals. Or some of them did, at least. We'll talk about that in later episodes. Let's see what the Paleopedia has. Thrinaxodon. Survival is likely due to its burrowing habit, or I suppose sprawling posture. Cool, okay, so those are our 3 small species. If you have name suggestions, I mean, especially the Hype Squad, the Hyperadapodon, leave them in the description below. You can name anything you want, although I'd say it only really makes sense to name the Hyperadapodon, but yeah. Thank you so much. In the next episode, we're going to be filling out this whole corner of the enclosure. For one of the really cool species. A secondary carnivore that, like, a whole geological area is named after, so stay tuned for that. We might also get the river nice and filled with fishes. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like, comment name suggestions, comment whatever you like, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you next time.